What is limit? So the definition of limit in simple sentence is as x approaches a, fx approaches L. So what does this mean? Well, it's easier to understand it if we have an example. But before we move on to the example, there is must no rule about limit. So as stated, for limit to exist, the right hand side limit should equal the left hand side limit. So let's look at this example. What is right hand side limit? It is when x is approaching the value a from the right. In this case, this be the right hand side limit. The left hand side limit is x approaching the value a from the left. Simply, right hand side limit is x approaching from the right, and left hand side limit is where x approaches the value from the left. So to identify the difference between these limits, we use this small sign, negative plus sign, to represent what type of limit it is. So for right hand side limit, we use this small plus sign, and for left side limit, we use small negative sign. So here's a lot of mistake that people make. So does this mean limit x approaches a, fx is same as f of a? No, the definition of limit is x approaching the value a, which results fx approaching the value L. So the value of limit can exist even if the function is undefined at a. Let's get the example. So example 1, fx equals, here's the fraction one, and this is the linear one. They're almost exactly the same except for case number 1, there's a hole at x equal 1. So if you look at this example, as x approaches 1, the function fx gets closer and closer to value 2. So we can say in this case, limit as x approaches 1 of fx is same as 2, because x is approaching from the right, goes near 2, x approaching from the left also goes near 2. For case number 2, as x approaches 1, the function fx gets closer and closer to 2. Why? Same case. As x approaches from the right, y value, fx gets closer to 2. As x approaches from the left, it also gets closer to 2. Since left and right hand side limits are the same, we can state that the limit as x approaches 1 of x plus 1 is equal to 2. So, as conclusion, we can tell that fx is undefined at x equal 1, however, there still exists a limit. Thus, we can conclude that the fx can be defined even if fa doesn't exist. And on my next video, I'm actually going to go through some of the examples on how to solve limits.